Oh man, I had to start on 6. I started on 6 on the dot, dude. It's 6 on the dot. We're here. It's an upcoming stream. Dude, I figured it out. I was a little worried because I didn't know if the settings, I had them figured over. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
I don't know if I had the settings all figured out, but it's all good. I tested it. Everyone should hear me good.
Is this a new desk, dude?
Oh, yeah.
Did you build this?
Mhm.
This is the door?
No, it's not the door.
You just got a desk?
Yeah, I just got it. What's going on, everyone? Happy you guys can join. I got my boy Ryan with me tonight. He does all the music and everything for my videos. If you don't already know that, thankful to have him with me tonight. And we're just going to be covering, well, actually, I did this Bible study last week at a church, and we're going to be covering that again tonight. And Ryan and I are going to talk about it, so pretty stoked on that. It's going to be covering one of my favorite Bible verses, which is Proverbs 28:1. And that is, the wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. So I'm excited. We're going to go into that and talk about it. I know last time we were talking a bit about David and Goliath and covering that story. So this is like going to be pretty similar. So tune in, and I think you guys will like it. So before we jump into it, I have the verses to look up, and I have some questions and stuff, but I'm just going to read the opener. Ryan and I will go through the verses, and we'll answer the questions together. So got a little bit more prep this time. Pretty stoked.
I like it.
So Ryan already heard this, so we're actually doing it again. This is the one we just – yeah, this is the one we just did. So
cool, man.
Yeah, it's going to be good. All right, so it starts off. It says, chase the lion, to quit playing it safe and run towards the roar. When you see a lion face to face, the normal reaction would be to run away. That's what normal people do, but not lion chasers. Rather than seeing a 500-pound problem, they see an opportunity for God to show up and show his power. Only when we stop fearing failure but seize the opportunity and allow God to intervene, that is when we see great things happen. So let this be a wake-up call in your life to live the purpose that God has for you, and not to arrive safely at death. But our dreams should be so big that they scare us. And they should be so big that they're impossible to achieve without God intervening with them. So let us not run away of what we're afraid of, but let us chase it and face it head on, taking it down, knowing that God is with us. And let's not be too safe to show off God's power. And I know that you have something going on in your life, but remember, if your dream doesn't scare you, it's too small. Have a God-sized dream, and have a dream that God wants you to have, and make it happen. So let's do it. I like to start with the quote. But yeah, that was
Start with the quote.
yeah, so that was, we're going to go into the verses. I got like a few verses here. I got some questions for you guys. I'll drop the verses below. Like I said, I already said the first one, which is Proverbs 28:1, but I'll say it again. And we'll cover the questions, and I'll drop them in the chat below. But it's, the wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. That's actually my favorite verse, and I love that so much. And Ryan, I got 2 Samuel here.
Yeah.
I'll have you read that, and then we'll go through the rest of them and the questions. I'm going to drop the verses in the chat below too, so everyone has them.
You want to drop them as we go, or just drop them all right now? I feel like we should do it as we go.
Yeah, it might be a little easier.
Personally. So wait, so you want me to read the first one? I'm sorry, I mixed that.
Yeah, for 2 Samuel 23:20.
You want to pull up on my phone, or?
Yeah, if it's easier for you, that'd be cool. I have the Bible right here too, if you need it. It's just
I got you.
It's right here.
2 Samuel, what was the verse?
2 Samuel 23:20. And I have the questions for you guys below, and we'll start with we'll read through the verses, and then we'll cover the questions. So,
okay,
you ready?
There was also Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, a valiant warrior from Kabzeel. He did many heroic deeds, which included killing 2 champions of Moab. Another time, on a snowy day, he chased a lion down into a pit and killed it.
That's the whole verse?
Yep.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure so I didn't cut you off or anything.
2 Samuel 23?
Yeah. Yep.
Wait, you want to give me one with all the hard names in it, didn't you?
I set you up, bro.
Planned this all
I did
along.
plan it, dude.
I knew it.
You know me, bro.
You're like, oh, I'm gonna give that one to Ryan. But
that was the game plan. Yeah, no, I picked that verse, dude, because it was like, I love how it said he chased the lion into the pit. And it's crazy because after Benaiah went through and he did that, amazing things happened. Like he went against the odds. And we'll talk about it later, but he actually ended up becoming King David's bodyguard. And he was one of the most mighty warriors in the Bible. And it's like someone chased a lion into a pit, dude. Like to chase a lion and kill it is insane. I don't recommend that because I love lions. However, I'm just using the story as reference.
If you have to.
If
the lion's threatening you, gotta do that.
Yeah.
So how does that apply to us today? How do you think that applies to us today? Like in our like lives, because we're not chasing down lions, you know.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying how does it apply? Well, I think it's our fear, right? Have you ever seen a lion face to face?
At the zoo.
Okay, that still counts.
In your living room, Leo, he's a lion.
But
sorry,
but no, like at the zoo, right? You saw one, so you know like what they look like and how they are. Mm-hmm. Have you looked one in the eyes?
Not from what I can remember. No.
You don't remember. Yeah, I'm just asking you that question because when I went to Barcelona last year for my sister's wedding, I went to the zoo there and I saw lions there. And I remember looking one in the eye and it was like such a crazy experience, man. Like his eyes are just like so strong and defined. It's like they're lit on fire. And this is like huge 500-pound beast and it's just like walking and lurking right there. And it's crazy to think that Benaiah chased it down and killed it like that. So to apply that into daily life today, it makes me think, okay, to chase our lion, we're not physically chasing a lion and killing it. I think it's chasing the thing that scares you most, chasing the biggest dream or whatever God placed in your heart and going after it, even when it could fail and it could go completely wrong. And it's like relying on God to step in and take care of you and know that he's going to walk you through that fear, right?
It could mean that. Yeah, dude. What about temptation, you know? Like chasing down temptation. Because that's a threat to a lot of people. You know, when I think of a lion, I think like it's threatening. I'm kind of, you know, not only am I afraid of it, but it's like my life's in danger, you know?
Yeah.
And I think, you know, that's a good analogy, though. I know that's what you're going for with the study, but I'm just saying, like, it could mean a lot more, you know, than pertaining to, like, your dreams and all that.
Yeah. But, no, I like the questions, dude. Like, I like this because it's kind of like a real talk and stuff. And I like when you bounce things off of me, too, because it makes me think.
Yeah, dude.
I would definitely agree with that. We'll probably go on to the 17 verse and read that now.
Go for it. Yeah, do you want to read it? Yeah,
I'm actually going to pull it up in my Bible app because it's just might be a little easier. Let's see. Second. Yeah, it's going to be Samuel 17, 33 through 51. I'll probably drop it in the chat below just so everyone could read along as well. If anyone's wondering too, I'm just 1 Samuel, I'm sorry. 1 Samuel 17 verses 33 through 51. So it's, yeah, I'm going to drop that in. Actually, can you drop that in the chat, Ryan? Right there. Can you reach it?
You know, I hate this keyboard.
No, just I got it. No, I got it. It seems like a little tricky.
Let me just, you know, reach all the way over there.
Do you have anything to say about the point that you said about chasing the lion to the pit? Though I didn't mean to cut you off.
I gotta read the verse again.
You getting sick?
I think like a lot of people. I don't know.
That's what I'm gonna be reading next.
You know, a lot of people say run. We say run from sin, but we don't. Do we say run from temptation? Because if the lion is a analogy for temptation, then, you know, should you chase it down or should you run from it?
I think for temptation, doesn't Jesus say that when we're tempted, we're supposed to pray for our way out, and that Jesus wouldn't give us a temptation too much where we can't bear? Like, I remember him saying that. I don't know what verse it's in, but I'm pretty sure that Jesus talked about how when we're tempted, we're supposed to pray about it so he releases it. Because, when we look, Jesus was tempted in the desert, and he was there with Satan, and he fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, and it was like, he was tempted. It's not a sin to be tempted. It's going to happen to each and every one of us as it happened to Jesus. I think it's just a matter of praying, because Jesus used scripture against the devil when he was tempted, which is really interesting because he's the Son of God, yet he used scripture in that particular time.
Sure. That's very important. However, we can pray a lot. Like, that helps a lot when you're tempted. However, when I think of like chasing it down like a lion, I feel like you're just like not only praying and clinging to God's strength, but also like utilizing your free will.
Yeah.
To like just starve that sin. You know what I mean?
Yeah. To like use your free. Repeat that one more time. You said free will to starve the sin.
Using your free, like I've watched this sermon on like overcoming temptation once, or overcoming like a addiction to some kind of sin.
Yeah.
And the preacher said, he was like, you starve the sin. That's how you do it, because it's like a beast inside you. You just,
okay.
You utilize your free will to just like not do that, and then like if you just abstain from it as long as you can, then it won't be a habit for you anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. So you're talking. It seems to me like you're talking about a sin and not the temptation, right? Is it? Okay. Are you saying a particular issue or
they
sin?
Go hand in hand. I don't really know what I'm saying.
No. I no. They're close. I feel like they're related. They're very close, because the temptation becomes the sin, right? It's kind of like if you're going to buy something, you have to provide the money and then you get that item, right? Well, if you don't provide the money, you're not going to get the item. So that's like the temptation right there, the two piece. If you're not giving into that temptation, then the sin is not going to happen. And it's almost like you're just, to quit the sin, you have to starve it. And that's almost like fasting it and not allowing yourself to put yourself in that place to be tempted. Mm-hmm. Right? Is that, am I...
Yeah, dude.
Understanding what you said. I'm just trying to like piece it together.
I was just thinking, what that verse could pertain to.
Yeah.
Besides that.
But, no, I think that's a really great point, man. I actually didn't like look at it that way. So it's good to have like an extra set of eyes on it.
Really quick, I know we got to move on to the next verse, but you want to know something really cool I just noticed in it? Is like before he chased the lion down in the pit, he killed 2 champions of Moab, which I guess means the Hebrew word is Ariel, I guess.
Okay.
So when I think of champions, I'm assuming it means like big warriors there that are like, I don't know if it's in there.
That makes me think of like a giant kind, or Moab, or like a big, strong person. I mean, to be a champion is to defeat everyone else in battle.
Yeah, I'm just like the point that like he defeated those. He said he did many heroic deeds, which included killing 2 champions of Moab.
Yeah.
So that was a heroic deed. They must have been not doing something very godly or good to Moab, right? Or to the world in general.
Mm-hmm.
So my point is, like, before he chased down the lion, he killed those 2 champions. So, but like, you're personifying the lion as like a big dream to like chase down, right?
Yeah. So
maybe before, like, and I think people like, they just go after the biggest thing right away, and it's like before they do that, I feel like you gotta do some stuff before that, take baby steps. You know what I mean? Like he killed 2 champions before he chased down the lion, which like it kind of trained him for chasing down the lion.
So he was prepared for that moment. Yeah. And God uses the same thing in us. It takes time. Like he doesn't just throw us in a pit with a lion. He prepares us for our dreams and prepares us for all the things that he has ahead of us, like small steps. I remember Chris was talking about this at the Bible study, how it's like if we have one success, or if we overcome one goal, and it builds momentum to the next one. It's kind of like a domino effect. When you knock over one, it makes it that much easier to knock over another and another and another. And then you could actually increase the size of those dominoes which are your goals, and the momentum that's already falling from the dominoes is going to be able to knock over bigger dominoes. So it's almost like if you just get that chain going, things are going to come together, which is really cool.
This commercial for Domino's Pizza, man?
Dude, I haven't had Domino's Pizza in a while. It's good though.
I
I like it too. I haven't had it in a
night
long time.
when I was in Hamden. But anyways, next verse.
Yeah. So the one I dropped below is 1 Samuel 17. It's like a little story here. So it says, "Oh, this is actually this was David and Goliath." Actually, it covers it a little bit, but I'm just gonna send it anyway. So it says, "Don't be ridiculous," Saul replied. "There's no way you can win this Philistine and possibly win. You're only a boy." Saul's talking to David right here, and he's saying, "You're only a boy, and he's been a man of war since his youth." But David persisted. "I have been taking care of my father's sheep and goats," he said. "When a lion or bear comes to steal a lamb from the flock, I go after it with a club and rescue the lamb from its mouth." That's crazy. It goes on. It says, "If the animal turns on me, I catch it by the jaw and club it to death." No, it's true though. It's crazy. "I have done this to both lions and bears, and I'll do it to this pagan Philistine too, for he has defied the armies of the living God. The Lord who rescued me from the claws of the lion and the bear will rescue me from this Philistine." Saul finally consented. "All right, go ahead," he said, "and may the Lord be with you." So he just Saul just went along with that.
Dude, I love how he's just like, a lion, or is it a lion goes after the sheep?
He goes and chases it with a club.
I just picture he just grabs a club and he's like, just goes after. That's like something your dad would do. Just like, is he in the chat?
It probably is, yeah.
Just go after with a club.
Dude, and
your sheep grabbing a club.
And bears too, though.
And
bears.
But another point there, though, he's like, "I've done it to animals, and I'll do it to," what was it?
Yeah, he's talking about Goliath when he says the Philistine.
That kind of plays into what we were just talking about too. Like he did it with those animals before that.
It prepared him. Yeah, God.
Him.
And he said God did that, prepared him with that too. He even mentioned it. And then it goes on. It says,
God prepares it. That's important too. It's like it's not all him doing it. It's God providing with the opportunities. To prepare for what's to come.
Agreed.
But anyways, go on, dude. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's all good. And then he said, Saul said, "May the Lord be with you." And then Saul gave David his own armor, a bronze helmet and a coat of mail. It's like a chain mail back then. It's like armor that sat over your chest. And David put it on, strapped the sword over it, and took a step or two to see what it was like. For he had never worn such things before. And he's like, "I can't go in these." He protested to Saul, "I'm not used to them." So David took them off again. He picked up 5 smooth stones from a stream and put them into his shepherd's bag. Then, armed only with his shepherd's staff and sling, he started across the valley to fight the Philistine. All right, so Goliath walked out towards David with his shield bearer ahead of him, sneering in contempt at his ruddy-faced boy. And Goliath said to David, "Am I a dog," he roared at David, "that you come at me with a stick?" And he cursed David by the names of his gods. And he said, "Come over here, and I'll give your flesh to the birds and wild animals," Goliath yelled. David replied to the Philistine, "You come to me with sword, spear, and javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of heaven's armies, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. Today the Lord will conquer you, and I will kill you and cut off your head. Then I will give the dead bodies of your men to the birds and wild animals, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel." Man, what a comeback. What a comeback line. And everyone...
Wait, but just pause for a second. I like how he would, it's so obvious that David's not coming in the battle alone.
No.
Goliath has these worldly weapons, but David has, the Lord of heaven's armies, the Lord of lords on his side. And he's saying, once I defeat you, the world will know who God is.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't that, that was David's whole goal with this, was, to show the world who the Lord was.
Yeah. That's faith in action right there.
Yeah, isn't that dope though?
Yeah.
That should be our intention behind any giant we try to conquer in our life.
I agree.
Even whether it's a dream, whether it's any obstacle that people endure in life. The goal should always be at least it's so cliche, we say it a lot, but to glorify God and to share Him and His power in the world.
I like
don't know,
that.
I just wanted to pause.
No,
for a
I
second
like
and
that,
mention
man.
that. But go on.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. And it goes on here and it says, and everyone assembled here will know that the Lord rescues his people, but not with sword and spear. This is the Lord's battle, and he will give it to us. So that's what David's saying. As Goliath moved closer to attack, David quickly ran out to meet him, reaching into his shepherd's bag and taking out a stone. He hurled it with his sling and hit the Philistine in the forehead. The stone sank in, and Goliath stumbled and fell face down on the ground. So David triumphed over the Philistine with only a sling and a stone, for he had no sword. Then David ran over to pull Goliath's sword from its sheath. David used it to kill him and cut off his head. When the Philistines saw that their champion was dead, they turned and ran. Then the men of Israel and Judea gave a great shout of triumph and rushed after the Philistines, chasing them as far as Gath and the gates of Ekron. The bodies of the dead and wounded Philistines were strewn all along the road from Saharim as far as Gath and Ekron. Then, I think that's okay. That's it. That's it. That's the whole verse. So, what a key thing that I really liked in this was how you were touching on how he went and he was standing up for God, like he's going to win this battle for the Lord, and he was standing in faith. One thing that caught my attention was when he was faced with Goliath, which, was this huge warrior champion with two bodyguards right next to him. He has a slingshot and he just hits him with the first shot. But even before that happens, a key verse that I really liked, it says, as in verse 48, as Goliath moved closer to attack, David quickly ran out to meet him. And that stood out a lot to me because he quickly ran out to face his opposition, and which is the biggest opposition.
It's like he was eager.
He was eager. Like, that's what's crazy, man.
Going in.
Even with the biggest problem or the biggest threat in his life, he ran at it. He just was ready to attack it and face it head on, knowing God was with him and knowing that he was going to prevail over that and overcome it, which blows my mind. Like when you think of that, how would you apply that in something today, right? How would you apply that in our lives today?
I think everybody has their giants, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's afraid of something. Everybody looks at something and they kind of doubt God's power. They kind of doubt God will carry them through that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's what a Goliath is, It could be anything. It could be like, a monetary struggle. It could be like something with health. It could be, chasing, a career that you want. It could be, it could be anything really. Like, say you want to like build your own house and you're just like, oh, I can't do that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Something that you don't, that you struggle to trust God to carry you through, that most people would struggle to trust God.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like, I mean, everybody can think of that. If you say that to somebody, they'll like know what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
That's a Goliath. Yeah,
everyone has their own Goliath in their life, and I might not know what your Goliath is. I might not know what Ryan's is, and people might not know what mine are. And it's like, it makes you, when you think of this story, it's like we go forth and we just face it boldly. That's what David did right here. He faced it boldly, knowing that God was with him, and that's how we have to address our Goliaths that are in front of us, like roaring and yelling and taunting us. Are we just going to sit and wait, or are we just going to proceed quickly to address it and attack it and face it head on? That's something that just really stood out to me. He quickly like met him, like just wanted to get over it and just destroy it, just beat it, which was awesome.
He was like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah, and I love that.
Every time in my life I've done that, like I've just gone into something with God. I'm like, all right, God, let's do this. Like fired up. Mm-hmm. It always goes so smoothly.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but like every time I've done that, I can't think of a time where it didn't. Where it would just like slap me in the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As long as your goal is to spread the Lord's glory and His power, there's no stopping you.
Agreed. How can you stop God, right?
You can't.
You can't.
Dude, I don't know if we're gonna have time for all the verses. Do you want
We'll cover what we can.
A couple of them.
Yeah, we'll cover what we can.
Let's cover another one, dude. You want me to read it?
Yeah, you want to read Joshua 1:9? I'll drop it in below.
Got you.
What's up, guys? I'm still looking at the chat. I'm just
dude. Respond to people.
I just want people to know that I'm still looking at it. It's just we're having a good conversation here too.
Joshua, what was that?
1:9. Joshua 1:9.
Can't find it. It's in the Old Testament, right?
What?
It's in the Old Testament, right?
Yeah, it's in the Old Testament.
Yeah, I thought so. I'm scrolling past it, I guess.
You find it?
This is really embarrassing. It's like in the middle of the Old Testament, right?
I think it's
the end.
Yeah. It's not a big book. Well, you're on the Bible app, dude.
I am.
Look, it's right after Deuteronomy. Look, right here. Right after Deuteronomy. Keep scrolling.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
1:9. Got you.
You need your glasses, bro.
No, my glasses. My glasses are for far away, not up close. I don't know what's going on with me, man. All right. This is my command: be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go.
I love that verse. Can you say it one more time? Just everyone. I just want to make sure everyone got it.
This is my command: be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go.
I think the key thing in that verse is in the end of it, right? Like God, like right there, it's saying we can be strong and courageous. We can face anything that's ahead of us when we know that God is with us everywhere we go. It's like if we forget that, then it's easy to fall back and it's easy to like shy away from things or be a little nervous. But when we know God's with us, we're prepared and we're equipped to take on what's ahead.
That kind of answers, or bounces off rather, like how David just kind of ran out at him.
Yeah.
Be strong and courageous.
It's a good segue. It's a good segue. Yeah, it covers that really well. I agree. And David knew that God was with him. Since he knew that he was with them, that's why he was ready to take on Goliath, and he ran to meet him. I'm going to go on to Numbers here as well, because I know I put like a little story together when I had Numbers right here. So
cool.
There we go. Numbers 13. Sorry, just flipping the pages right here. Okay. So I'm at Numbers 13:30 through 33. So it says, but Caleb tried to quiet the people as they stood before Moses. Let's go at once and take the land, he said. We certainly can conquer it. But the other men who had explored the land with him disagreed. We can't go up against them. They're stronger than we are. So they spread this bad report about the land among the Israelites. The land we traveled through and explored will devour anyone who goes to live there. All the people we saw were huge. We even saw giants there, the descendants of Anak. Next to them, we felt like grasshoppers, and that's what they thought too. So I need to continue on to Numbers 14 just to like explain this whole thing, because I try to like condense this story a little bit. So it goes on here and it says in Numbers 14:8-9, and if the Lord is pleased with us, he will bring us safely into that land and give it to us. It is a rich land flowing with milk and honey. Do not rebel against the Lord and do not be afraid of the people of the land. They are only helpless prey to us. They have no protection, but the Lord is with us. Do not be afraid of them. So this is actually in the Old Testament when a lot of the Israelites were with Moses and they finally arrived at the promised land. However, there were giants in the land at that time, people that were huge walking the earth. And basically Moses had spies, like they had Caleb and Joshua and a few other people scope out the land and spy and see how they can get an advantage and see how they can take it from these giants, because God promised them the land. And there was a couple people like Caleb and Joshua who were, they were like confident that they can take the land because that they knew God was with them. They weren't afraid of these giants that roamed it. They weren't afraid of how big they were, how strong they were, or anything, because they knew God was with them. And the rest of the Israelites were doubting and were afraid, and they didn't think that they can take the land. So I just use this as an example. So it reminds us, no matter what the opposition or the enemy looks like regarding the size, the stature, the strength, whatever it is in your promised land, in your destination, we have to remember that God has it and he placed it in our heart for a reason. And we have to go there and overcome that obstacle and overcome that challenge that is in that land. What do you think from that, bro? About those verses?
There's one key thing here. In particular with this story and with, the David and Goliath story again.
Mm-hmm.
Both goals they were going after were in line with what God desired for the world.
Yeah.
Like, what land was it they were trying to take?
The promised land.
The promised land. So that was, directly in line with, God's will for that, society, for that group of people, for the Jews. And as well as David conquering Goliath, because Goliath was just being ruthless,
Yeah.
To my understanding, I haven't read it in depth very often, but I think it's something to make note of, is that it's very important that their goals, these people's goals to conquer this land and whatnot, was in line with what God wanted. And I think a lot of people, they'll take their ungodly dream that they have from, their worldly self,
mm-hmm.
and then just try to say oh, God will bless this. But it's if it's not in line with God's work in redeeming the world back to its former glory, then I think it's dangerous to use God's name with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm listening.
I don't
Yeah,
know if
it can't be. It can't be something that's inward. It has it can't be your own desire. It has to be something that God placed in your heart that you're going to follow through, knowing He placed it in your heart.
It can be something you desire as long as it's in line with what God desires.
But isn't what we desire, if it's really from God, shouldn't that be intertwined? It shouldn't be selfish, is what you're saying.
Well, I'm saying we can desire what God desires, but we don't always desire what God desires.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if we have I'm trying to think of an example. Say somebody has a dream to I don't know. I'm trying to think of stuff that's not drastic. But say they have a dream that's basically just to get themselves wealthy, and they're not planning to bless others with it, or build God's kingdom with that amount of funds per se. Their only intention is to just be a glutton and be blessed themselves and not bless others. I think that's dangerous to say that's dangerous to say God's gonna help you with that, because He might not, because it's not for His glory. It's not for His plan. So why would He want to help you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think my point was, these people, they're trying to claim the promised land, as well as David conquering Goliath. What they were doing there was directly in line with what with God's work in the world. So I just think that's important to make note of.
Yeah, I agree.
So I just feel like I talked for an hour about that, but
no, you did.
I'm really careful about my words. I want the words to convey what I'm thinking.
Yeah, bro.
But you have another verse you want to read, or
that was actually all the verses. So
that was.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, we went through them pretty good.
You have any closing remarks?
Trying to figure out.
Matt?
Dude, I might have that title soon.
Yeah. Coach Hammer.
How can we? Yeah, I think, you know what? I want to just I guess the close is like, how can we activate our faith to chase our own lion, to chase and conquer these giants in our life?
Say that one more time.
So how?
The first part?
Okay, so how can we go and face head on the giants that are in our own life? How can we beat them and defeat them? How can we activate our faith in order to do that?
Well, I think, first you need to build your faith and trust in God. And that takes, some getting used to like really sink your roots in trusting the Lord and his strength. And also, like we talked about, we need to prepare for that. Or God needs to prepare us for that, rather,
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to say. I feel in closing, it's those little things, like I spoke about the domino effect. When we see God's faith in certain things, like one thing, and then we see him through and he takes care of us and follows us through that and we accomplish it, it gives us more faith and it activates more faith for us to take on another obstacle and another one and set more goals and to know that we're gonna accomplish it because God's with us. He's gonna open that door for us. And I think it starts small. It's a process. If you, like Jesus said, if you have the faith of this mustard seed, you can move mountains. Like if you have enough faith. So it's like our faith is acquired. It's gained. It's like experience. It takes time. It's like an experience bar in a video game. It takes time to get to that next level and you have to be acquired. And I think there's no way around the process. And that's something that we all have to go through as individuals. And that's why we all have a different amount of faith.
On the other hand, though, anything is possible with God, Jesus called those that the world would see as completely unprepared, completely like not fit for the job. You know what I mean? Like, some people believe that the disciples, some of them were teenagers.
Yeah.
And even Moses, like, I believe, like, there's one part where Moses is just like, God, I'm not cut out for this. These people are getting cranky. The Red Sea's here. What are we gonna do?
Well, and I think a key thing he said, these people weren't equipped for this. They were, however, God knew they were. They didn't know that. They doubted themselves.
I like that.
Yeah, dude.
That was nice.
It's true, bro. Dude, that's like us. We think we're not equipped. We think we don't have it, but everything is right there, and God gave it to us. And I remember just a little Moses reference. I remember when Moses wanted to approach Pharaoh and talk to him and to let his people go, he wanted his brother Aaron to come with them because he's like, God, you're picking the wrong guy. I can't speak. I'm old. I don't know how to do this. I can't do this. So he had his brother come with them because he was afraid, but God knew he can do it alone. And eventually, I think God killed Aaron or let him die because he did. I don't know if he did something, but there was something not in line with what he did. And Moses went on to free his people, but that was God in him. And God knew that Moses can do that all along. And we could think, I need this person with me. I need this in order to accomplish this. But God knows what's in our heart already. So we're prepared to face and accomplish and just triumph over any challenge or any adversity that's going to be in our way. Yeah.
Should we do prayer requests?
That's actually, I was just going to segue into that. So that's perfect.
Send it.
So if this is your first time in the stream, I just want to say too, thank you guys for joining. I'm happy you can be here. This is time where we do prayer requests. It's like Bible study prayer requests. If you have anything that you'd like me to pray for, Ryan to pray for, drop it in the chat below and I'll pray for you guys and I'll give it a minute. So feel free, like anything that's bothering you guys, if you guys want healing, just want, just to be blessed or just protection or just anything. I got you guys. Most importantly, God's got you guys. I'm just praying for you guys, really. So whenever you guys are ready, just drop any prayer requests below. Oh, Bianca asked if we have any prayer requests. That's so nice.
That's so nice. You want to go first?
No, you can go first, bro.
Let me think. With me, I've just been going through some health issues and, just trying to find my way with my career and all that. Hopefully my musical dreams will come true. But for the time being, just trying to find an internship because it's my last year at college. So I appreciate prayer for that. Since you're offering. Thank you so much. Bianca was her name?
Yeah, it's right here.
Thank you, Bianca. So nice.
Yeah.
How about you? You never turn down a prayer request.
I never do. Dude, why would I turn down prayer? You can't turn down prayer. It's too good. I guess what's a good prayer request? Just to dial in my schedule. I'm just making some changes to things, and I feel God's been working in me, and I feel like I've been making some good adjustments, and that God continues. Just prayer that God continues to give me the strength and the wisdom and discernments to make the changes that I could glorify Him and to bring more people to Him with making more videos, doing more live streams, thinking of more creative ideas, just stuff like that, so I can be used more for Him would be awesome. So, be good. Well, I'm gonna hop into prayer requests, and anyone who wants to drop something in, feel free to drop in below, and I'll see it. So, let's do that. Yeah, it's a good point that Chuck made too. He said, David shows us that even the biggest sinner can be a man after God's own heart. It's so true. In the Bible, it says that David was a person after God's heart.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
All right, I'm going to start prayer request. Make sure my phone's on Do Not Disturb, a classic Ryan power move.
Can't be disturbed.
So, all right, you ready, bro?
Yeah. Yeah, Bianca just popped something in there, too.
Yeah.
Don't forget anybody.
I'm not.
Okay. All right, you ready?
Yeah. Dear Lord, dear Jesus, I just thank you for this time here with everyone who joined the Bible study, with my brother Ryan here. It's just so awesome to be here to pray, to learn, to grow in you, Lord. And I just pray, Lord, that you bless everyone here, Lord. Bless everyone tonight and every day, Lord. We pray for protection upon these people, for love, for blessing, for healing, Lord, that you just be with each and every one of them, Lord. I pray, Lord, for Bianca, that you just help her. I know she's stressed with school, and I pray that her family and friends stay healthy, and that you just bless her in her life and help her with everything that's going on, Lord. I pray for my mom, that you help her and heal her eye and let her just be 110% and feel good and no problems or issues. Just bless her health, and also my pop and my stepdad and everyone else here, Lord. I just thank you for all of them joining. It's such a gift and an honor to be here, and I'm just thankful for everyone, Lord. And I just hope that I cover everyone else. And I pray for Yesenia, and I just pray that for her faith and just for her health, Lord, that you just help her, Lord, to think of you, Lord, to just draw closer to you, Lord, and just help her and cast all her anxieties or anything that's going on in her mind, and just cast it up to you, Lord. Know that you care for her and love her, Lord. And I pray, Lord, for Zumi and everyone else, Lord, who needs prayer, Lord. I pray for everyone who joined. I'm just so thankful for all of them. And I pray for Hannah. I don't know if she's here or not, but I pray for her, and that you bless her and be with her and help her with everything that she's going through. And I just pray that you just be with everyone, Lord. I'm so thankful for all the people here and everyone who joined, and even the people that missed tonight. I pray for them. Like I said, for Hannah, who usually joins all the Bible streams, I pray for her and everyone else, Lord. I thank you so much for being here, for loving us, for taking care of us. And I just pray that you continue to open the doors in our life, the right doors, close the wrong doors. Bless us, Lord, and just continue to work in our lives like you have. You're so good, Lord, and you just provide, and you're just so great. And we owe all this to you, Jesus, and we thank you for everything. And we just ask that you we lift up all these requests to you. We praise you. We love you, Lord. And we ask all these things in your name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Awesome. Thank you guys for that. And just a few announcements before we end. I'm gonna plan the next Bible study, same time next Wednesday, 6 p.m. This time seems to work pretty good, and it seems like everything comes together really great. So Ryan might be here, not sure yet. I'll talk to him. We'll see. And if you guys haven't already, just stay updated on everything. Give me a follow on Instagram, Twitter. That's it right there. Feel free to message me or anything that concerns you guys. Ryan, what's your Instagram?
@_Ryan K.
That's it, right?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. And that's your Instagram, bro.
Yeah.
And yeah, guys, if you like this video, if you want to see more content like this, hit the like button, subscribe, put on notifications. We've been doing this 19 weeks straight, so we're going to keep doing this and just keep it rolling. So I'm excited. And some other announcements too. I might, I don't know, like I want to do some more streaming, not just the Bible study streaming, but we'll see. I'm thinking about doing some video game streaming as well. I'm not sure, trying to figure out how I could integrate that and, have some positives with that. So we'll see. But anyway, those are the few announcements. And also I'm going to pick a day soon to, do videos, like just focus on a day. So expect a video a week from me besides the live stream. I'm thinking like Monday or Tuesday is going to be when I'm shooting it. So just expect that from now on. So keep your eyes peeled for those as well. Like I said, subscribe so you don't miss those. And we'll be here next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And I look forward to seeing you guys then. I love you guys. I'm thankful you guys joined, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.